Hi there, Wilson. How are you tonight?
I'm okay.
That's good. Well, I know we're back for another session today. I just wanted to take a moment and talk with you here, real quick, about informed consent. So, can I take a moment to explain what that is?
Sure.
All right. Informed consent is something that we do. It's just making you aware of that I'm taping you and that we're recording this audio and video. Also, just something to know about informed consent is that I'm a mandated reporter. And what that means is, as a mandated reporter, I am responsible for reporting if there's any abuse or neglect situations that need to be made aware to the proper authorities. Um, I also wanted to make you aware of the part about that this will be reviewed with. I'm a student currently at Edinburgh University in the master's degree program, and that I'll be sending this video along to my faculty, and they will be looking at it and possibly other students as well. And then just something else to be aware of as part of informed consent is that we're going to stay with some really safe topics. We're not going to get into too much as far as like trauma or other things that are going on. And that if you would have any questions along the way, we can stop the video at any time. Okay.
Okay.
So is that okay to go from here? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And you understand that I'm also a student at Edinburgh, so I don't want to work outside any scope of practice. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So today we're just going to take a moment and talk about what's been going on. But before we do that, tell me, how have you been so far? Is things going well lately with the family and kids?
Yeah, not too bad overall.
That's good.
Um, some days a little rougher than others, but nothing over the top.
Okay. How about everything as far as your interest? Are you taking care of yourself as far as like finding something that'll keep you interested?
Uh yeah, I mean there's I have activities I like to do, but um haven't been too persistent on, having a routine or a common occurrence of participating in those regularly the last several weeks.
Okay. Well, I know the last time you came in, we were talking about the workplace stress. That was why we were here for your last appointment. So I know this appointment, I wanted to see if we could talk a little bit more about that. So, do you understand? Have you had any different situations come about? Has that is the workplace stress still going on with your coworkers right now?
Yeah, some days are a little more frustrating than others. Um, you just gotta. I don't know. I try to look at everything and take it for what it's worth, and and move on from it if it's stressful, or build off of it if it's positive. But that those are both easier said than done on certain times.
Okay. Do you try to take a different approach to how you're interacting with certain people at all at work?
I mean, maybe to a point, but I mean, I think individually, if I try to stay fairly consistent. I mean, I can
Mhm.
adapt to people, but I you got to have some integrity personally, and kind of like know what you bring and be consistent with that. And I think even if you butt heads with people, but not in it for inappropriate or troublesome reasons beyond just personalities clash a little bit, that eventually people can adapt, and like they would, it might be better to have, for them to know that like I'm consistently going to, bring, a certain attitude and performance to the table, instead of like changing that up on them and them not really knowing what they're going to get.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I understand how that can be difficult. Are you right now? Is it making you anxious to go to work at all?
Some days, I think, uh, I wouldn't use the word dread, but like, I think some days you're not as excited to get there as others. Maybe you have a couple rough days in a row. And I think you dwell on that more than you enjoy when you have a couple good days in a row. Like those seem to go, you know, unnoticed. But like if you have a couple bad days in a row, it seems like those kind of hang over you or loom over you a little bit longer, than you give much thought or appreciate the positive days. But I wouldn't say there's like a regular pattern or like there's been like a stretch or anything or like like a slump or anything like that. But they're just spurts or different times or kind of thing.
Okay. Well, I think that those are different. It's appreciated that you're at least trying to take a different approach to some of those things. I know we're going to have to start thinking about wrapping this session up, but as we think about that, are you willing to come back in and talk a little more next time about this?
Sure.
Okay. And I really appreciate you taking the time to really think through some of the things that are going on. Um, let's see about making that appointment for next week here at 5 o'clock, and we'll talk a little bit more about it, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you again for coming in, and have a great day. Thanks.